Today we have a whole bunch of Blu-rays and 4Ks. These are movies that I've finally been able to get around to watching. A lot of them are upgrades. Some of them are first-time purchases. We're going to talk about the quality and everything going into this. Now, the very first one here is an MVD movie. Absolutely love this Rewind collection. A little disappointed that I kind of forgot about it. I waited so long to pull the trigger. I missed out on the slipcover. I'm not a slipcover guy. I don't usually collect them, but in these boutique labels, it is kind of nice. I like the uniformity on the shelf. They look a little bit sharper, and it is men at work. Absolutely love this one and everything to expect. The interior artwork is reversible. You're getting a print of the original movie poster. The movie itself didn't get a restoration, but there is a nice uptick in quality going from the DVD to the Blu-ray, and that surround sound, it still only has the 2-channel audio that it was recorded in. I don't really think they needed to go back and try to mess with it because this is a type of movie that I don't think would really be enhanced by any kind of surround sound. If you disagree, let me know in the comments down below, but I enjoy having just that original 2-channel audio. This was just a wonderful experience. Now the next one here, I didn't even know really existed. I was doing my VHS collection and I was talking about it. This movie came up and I mentioned how I wish there was a high definition version, and then somebody let me know in the comments that there was, and I ordered it the same day. Absolutely love this movie, and it is Last Man Standing with Bruce Willis. This has a great cast. It's a phenomenal film, another Macho Man movie, and this was put out by Shout Studios. Now you have the original movie poster art here. There is a new 2K scan of the original interpositive, and even though it's not chock full of special features, I think they did an excellent job. So you have not only just a nice uptick in quality, you have a little bit better than just putting this over to HD. This right here, I love the little bit touches that they put on the Blu-ray and the artwork on the interior. For me, even though the special features weren't there, the quality of the packaging, the attention to detail, it's good. I think this is just a standard that most people should follow. And the next one is just a classic man movie. It is Harley Davidson and the Marlboro Man, starring Mickey Rourke, Don Johnson, early 90s. This opens up with just that awesome Bon Jovi song, Wanted Dead or Alive. You really can't go wrong with this film. And being a Shout Studios, I do believe it's the minimum standard that most studios should be following anyway. It doesn't come chock full of special features. There's a nice quality in the image from the Blu-ray, and because I didn't have the DVD to compare, I'm assuming it's just a nice slight uptick. It has a DTS master audio, sounds awesome, looks awesome. Glad to have this in the collection, and the attention to detail, and it's nothing crazy. It's just, for me, very simple. You have artwork on the disc and on the interior. The next one here is a comedy western from the 60s starring Jane Fonda.
And the first time I asked you to do one little thing for me, like rob one little train.
Now it is an MOD disc, or manufacturer on demand. If you don't know what that is, instead of having to print 100,000 of these copies and then risk having to buy some of them back if they don't sell, they do a smaller print run. If they sell out, then they print more. And I have gotten discs that are MOD that are just, they look like they're on a CDR. On the back side, it's blue. It's no different than a burned copy. The quality is very lackluster, but this is different. This is a pressed MOD disc. It's similar quality to what you're used to in any standard studio release, and we're talking about Cat Ballou. This is the 1960s comedy western. Jane Fonda is great in it, and it's just fun. If you're into comedy westerns, probably going to be right up there for you. I think this one was made at the tail end of the whole western boom, and so it does poke fun at itself, but just overall really enjoyable. I love having the original movie poster on here, but where they did save money was the interior. So you have a very plain, simple interior, and then the back. This image right here is what you found on the original DVDs. So having this, I just think it's great. Now, this is something that I rented back in the early 2000s. I absolutely loved it. I remember I rented it on a Friday, and I watched it, for that entire weekend, maybe like 2 or 3 times every day. It was something that I just really enjoyed. But then, not that I really forgot about it. I mean, I guess eventually I did, but I just never remember seeing it available for sale, whether it was on DVD or when Blu-ray came to market. I just never noticed it, and so glad to have this one. And the only reason that I was reminded was because I was watching an old VCR tape and the trailer was there. And we're talking about The Replacement Killers. This is just an excellent action film with Chow Yun-fat, Mira Sorvino, and as far as everything I could tell diving back into this, there was no restoration done on the film, but just looks beautiful in high definition, just a nice uptick in quality. Now, I didn't have anything to compare it to, and like I said, I haven't seen it in over 20 years, but the picture looks amazing on the television for being a Blu-ray. Now the audio is just a Dolby HD Master 2-point audio, so the original audio track was recorded in 2-channel audio. This is a movie that could, benefit greatly from a 5.1 surround track or even a Dolby Atmos if that's possible. And I understand that they take the original audio and they have to separate things to kind of manipulate it. So having the 2-channel audio the way it was recorded, but also having another track in there if they were able to do something like that. I think if this does come to 4K, that would be a huge benefit. But other than that, just a really fun experience and an enjoyable movie. The next one here is something I've been watching for years. I had it on DVD and it was in my list of movies that hadn't come to Blu-ray, I think last year or a couple years ago. And man, this is something when I found out there was a Blu-ray, and I only found out about it because my buddy over at Last Movie Standing, Brian, he made a video talking about how this movie was just so popular. It sold out as soon as possible. It was hard to find. And I think that was the very first video I found, and we became friends after that. But it is Money Talks, and this is a Warner Archive, and Warner Archive is something I absolutely love to collect for. I don't have all of them, but there are definitely quite a few gems in my collection. He was right. This was something that when I found it, I did get one, but it took like 3 weeks for it to get to me. So I'm glad to have it, really enjoy it, and being on the Warner Archive, just a great addition to that collection. But this one, as far as quality goes, there is a nice uptick in quality in picture. Going from the DVD to the Blu-ray is huge because I watch most of my DVDs in this room on an old CRT television, and then being able to take this Blu-ray, watch it on the big screen downstairs, having that surround sound is awesome. And this does have a 5.1 channel audio soundtrack, and I don't know if there is a huge upgrade or even if it's the same audio track because I already traded in my DVD. I used to watch it in this room and I have a smaller surround sound in this room, and I noticed at the end with all the chaos and the gunfire, I would adjust the volume to hear the voices, and then all of a sudden it'd be crazy chaos and I had to turn it down. Now that experience, I didn't have that downstairs, but I don't know if it's a different track or if it's because I have the better sound system downstairs. Now the next one here, I have some complaints, but it's not a deal breaker because of how cheap I picked it up for. I think it was like $3 or $4 at Big Lots, and we're talking about Friday. This is just a classic Chris Tucker, Ice Cube comedy from the 90s. John Witherspoon's in this one, Regina King. There's so many great people in this movie. Really, really fun. But I absolutely hate this cover art. I always have. It's probably why I never picked it up originally. But then on the inside, very boring, very plain, and it is an echo case. So these ones here are sitting with the holes on the inside, so if this gets punctured, you're going to scratch ruin your disc. But having this here, you get a director's cut, you get a DVD, you get the Blu-ray, it's fine. The quality and uptick is a very small uptick from the DVD. This here is the DVD. I love the movie poster on here a lot better. And then you do have just a nice touch with adding the blue and yellow disc. Really enjoy having this, and I think if they do put this out on 4K eventually, they go this route with the nicer artwork. For picking it up for $4, I thought this was just worth getting. The next one here, I picked it up because I'm a huge fan of Guillermo del Toro. Having the 4K movies for me are important because even the whole family just kind of gets into this one. And we're talking about Hellboy 2. This is just something that I absolutely love this movie. I hate the big ugly banner. I think it takes away from the movie poster art. Going from the Blu-ray to the 4K, I do prefer the 4K art a lot better. This one still has a big ugly banner, but it's at the bottom, so I don't know if it's just the way it was designed. It's not as noticeable, or I never really minded. It's when these 4K started coming out, I started noticing it. I really do enjoy this film. Having this on the 4K is great for me. Is there a huge quality difference between the two? No, it's a very slight uptick. There's a DTS HD 7.1 master audio surround track on this one, as well as this one. This does include a DTX immersive audio track as well, so you have a slight audio difference, but if your surround sound doesn't have that capability, then it's no different. But as far as like the average person's concerned, the Blu-ray might be okay. This one here has all the features that were on the Blu-ray, but what it is missing. This had a DVD in here, and there were special features that are only on the DVD that never made it over here. If you're trying to get all your special features, you're either going to have to keep this or track down a DVD and then add that into here, however you might want to do that. Overall, not a bad pickup. Now, the next one here is something that I saw the trailer. I thought it looked super fun. I had to have this one day one, and I really enjoyed this one, but there is a but. And we're talking about the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. Now, this is just a great overall film, but if you are a history buff, you're into World War II, they did take some liberties and they did change some things, but it's a fun movie. The 4K looks amazing. This was shot digitally. It's a newer movie, so of course you expect it to look amazing. The surround sound is there. You have a Dolby Atmos track. Just overall, really a great experience. Now, as far as the package design goes, I really do enjoy that movie cover. A lot of times I don't really get into all the actors being just crammed on the front. I like the older style with painted artwork and stuff, but for some reason, I don't know if it's just the color palette they used, but something about this one, I really do appreciate the movie cover here. It has the minimalistic design, so you don't have the big ugly banner, but it still says 4K UHD Blu-ray digital, super small, and it really does blend into the background here. So as far as being the movie cover, I think this is really great. Now, I'm not a slipcover guy, so this is going to go into a storage box. I'm going to take it off and leave it on my shelf just like this. And so you have that same design, but with this here, you have the 4K traditional case, nothing special, but you have your simple minimalistic design. Like I said, it blends into the background, but that information really could just be found on the back. I totally get why, because if somebody buys this and they don't have a 4K player. But other than that, really do love the design on this. And they didn't do a lot of crazy detail. It's the exact same image on both the Blu-ray and the 4K. Both of them have the movie. Both of them have the special features. So this is just an overall great experience, great pickup. If it's something you were into, I highly recommend grabbing this movie. Now, this is something that I had the original Blu-ray of. It's an old Blu-ray, and that was kind of what got me to really wanting this one. Is it's a movie that I love. I love gangster movies. I'm into it. And we're talking about The Departed. This is a Martin Scorsese film, great cast, probably in my top 10 crime films of all time. Now, I had that original Blu-ray, but what I did was I traded it in as soon as I pre-ordered this, assuming that the Blu-ray was going to be inside the package, and it wasn't. This only came with a 4K and the digital code. Now, I'm not complaining about that. That's my own fault of not paying attention, but I didn't need the Blu-ray either. It was really just for comparison's sake. The experience I had from this, there is definitely an uptick in quality in picture. I don't remember if the sound was the same track or not, but you just have a simple 5.1 DTS HD master audio, and that is perfect. I don't think this movie needed any crazy Atmos or anything like that. Yes, you can argue if you have it, use it. Not everybody has a 5.1 surround system. So many people still just use a soundbar or nothing. I have a really good surround system. I have the Atmos, and the 5.1 I think was pretty good. I did not have any complaints. I did not long for a different audio track. I think everything in here was just wonderful. Now, as far as being a slipcover, again, you get the big ugly banner. You know I hate that. I think the artwork itself is pretty unique. When you take this off, it's the exact same artwork, and so again, it's kind of boring and lackluster. If you're a slipcover guy, having different artwork on the slipcover than the cover, I think it makes a little bit more sense. As far as quality, this one here was put out by Warner Brothers, and the package, the case is really, really solid. It's not super flimsy. It's not an Echo case, and this is just a nice overall purchase. Very simple. It has the X on the front of the disc. Nothing crazy. A little bit of touches, not bad. And the next one here is something that I didn't really think I needed, but there's this conversation that goes around the community all the time of, do we need this movie on 4K, and do we need comedies on 4K? And I think it's a double-edged sword. Like, obviously, it's up to you. You know, if you're going to upgrade or you're not going to upgrade. If you don't have the film at all, getting the 4K and getting the best possible picture is probably the way to go. It's the way I go. If I don't have the movie, I try to get the best possible picture at all. But where I'm upgrading, it's hit or miss depending on how much I love the movie or how the quality of the picture looks on my TV downstairs. Now, this is a movie that is a comedy. I wasn't originally going to upgrade it, but then some people were showing off the package design, and I pretty much got suckered into the package, and I'm like, it looks cool. I got to get it. It's a 4K. There is a nice uptick in quality. Did I really need to upgrade this movie? No, especially for how often it really gets watched in the house. It didn't need the upgrade. And we're talking about Mean Girls. This is just a fun movie overall. The one thing that really got me is the slipcover. I'm not a slipcover guy, but this right here, the attention to detail, this is something that's in the movie, and just having that there, really cool. And this is still going to go into a box, but having the different artwork from the slipcover to here, that's what makes sense to me. So if you were a slipcover person, this is what I would really be going after. And I just really like that aesthetic. Now, what really got me was the fact that they used the pink case, and that on that original Blu-ray, there were a few of them that had a pink case, but this one here, having the 4K, it really stands out, especially sitting on the shelf. I like having these because back in the day, there were some really cool VHS that did it. There was also some DVDs that did it, and for me, it was this one. This is what kind of sparked everything. It was this Ninja Turtles release from back in the 90s, and it has a green cassette. Now, not many people have seen this, but it's just something that I absolutely love having in the collection. Even though it sits in there most of the time, every time I take it out to try to watch it, that is what I'm hit with, is just that bright neon green. And it's the same with this. It's just, it goes with the movie, and it just, to me, it shows that the people that made this movie cared enough to make sure the slipcover was different than the cover art, and then the fact that it was pink. Now, the Barbie movie completely missed the mark. They hit pink on every single thing, but then they went with a standard black 4K and a standard Blu-ray. Why wasn't it a pink case? It makes no sense to me. And then on the inside here, you do have a plain disc. It works with the pink. It really stands out. Now, what they could have done was they could have done this image here with all the lipstick on there. That really should have been done on the disc, and that would have been 100% knocked out of the park for package quality and everything else. As far as the movie goes, there's just a nice uptick in quality. Really enjoyed it, and if you don't have the Blu-ray, go ahead and grab this one. You'll have a great experience. If you're going to upgrade, maybe you want to keep your Blu-ray, wait for a sale, or if you just love this movie so much, hurry up and try to get one before all the slipcovers are gone. Now, the next one here is something that, it's one that came out in the 90s, but I think I saw it in the early 2000s, and this is something that really just struck a chord with me. There's so many life lessons in this movie. Chaz Palminteri wrote this, and it's based on like his personal life experiences. This is just a really amazing film. Robert De Niro directed in it, he also acted in it, and he did it in a way where he wasn't the star. This is a great movie, and we're talking about A Bronx Tale. I had this on DVD, so going from DVD to 4K, this is a huge uptick in quality. I don't think this ever got a Blu-ray, so you're jumping straight from DVD to 4K. This is the way to go. There's a lot of great special features, interviews from the actors, just a wonderful overall film, and this does have a new 4K restoration, so not only are you getting that jump from DVD to 4K, you are getting a full restoration, and I had no problems with this one. This is an amazing picture, and really everything about it was just perfect. Again, we're going to talk about that big ugly banner. Now, there is a caveat. This one says 30th anniversary edition. That makes more sense to me than having the 4K banner and then having it set again. So this one here being like a collector's edition, a 30th anniversary edition, I don't mind the banner as much. But still, in the slipcover, you have the 4K UHD, and it's the exact same. It's a mirror image. Not bad. I know most people aren't going to care because they only care what's on the inside, but for me, being a collector, the package does matter. With this one here, coming out of Tribeca, I was really impressed with the case. The case is really solid. It's thick, it's durable, it's not an echo case. That was super noticeable because it reminded me of the old Blu-ray cases like 15 years ago. And just for the simple fact of having a nicer case, solid and sturdy, not an echo case, I'm going to be looking for more Tribeca films because I didn't have to spend extra money to replace this case because of fear of damaging the disc or just the case being brittle and breaking. This is just a great overall package, but when you open this up, you're going to get hit with art on the disc, and there's no DVD, there's no Blu-ray, and I don't even believe there was a digital code with this one, but when you open this up, you're getting these postcards, and so this is just a nice simple collector's edition, and coming from a studio, you don't see a lot of that too often anymore, and so they're just simple postcards. And being a collector, I know most people are just going to try to keep these together, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these, I'm going to find like a print of the movie, and I'm going to frame these with that print and maybe try to get that autographed or something, because that's just how I am. And coming out of a studio release, you don't see that too often. The next one here is something that I know a lot of people have been talking about for a while, because as soon as it came in, everybody had to get one, everybody had to make a video. So you've seen this one a bunch of times, and here's my 2 cents. One, it is True Lies. This is something that I had only on the VHS, so this is a huge upgrade for me. I understand there's a whole controversy with James Cameron and how he does his restorations with too much DNR, possible waxy faces, but maybe it's the TV settings that you're using. So I understand that it's a problem. So I'm not saying it isn't. When people are saying it's egregious and it's too much, it's unwatchable, I don't necessarily agree with them or even see what they're talking about. Now, I do have an OLED television and I have mine professionally calibrated. Things are different. You used to be able to just go to your settings, change the saturation, change the brightness, and that was just it. You make it to where you like it. The new modern TVs have so many bells and whistles, so many features. You can get a much better picture than just popping this in and using it out of the box. A lot of the modern TVs also have things like DNR built in and different things. So however yours is set might change how this looks. I see exactly the problem and I see what people are talking about, but I don't think it was egregious. I think this picture is the best it ever looked. And like I said, I'm going from a VHS tape to this, looking at that fuzzy picture on a big screen TV and then looking at this, night and day difference. I really enjoyed it. True Lies is just an absolute fun ride. This minimalistic design that the studio seemed to be adopting is just really enjoyable. It's something that I probably would have never complained about in the first place if this is how it always was. But you have your slipcover, same exact image on the inside, simple film by James Cameron with all of your banner stuff there. Not bad there. This is another one that's just a nice solid case, not an echo case. And this is something that I know it's been a long awaited movie, but coming out of 20th Century Fox, I'm kind of surprised it wasn't an echo case, but just nice solid sturdy case, 2 discs. The art is kind of lackluster on there. Nothing special, nothing crazy, but it's overall a good experience, wonderful surround sound, and I enjoyed this movie. And all the ones that are saying that this is like the worst thing it's ever, it's unwatchable, I just don't see it. It might be my TV settings, it might be the fact that I wear glasses. I don't know, but let me know in the comments down below because I know everyone has an opinion about this movie and what James Cameron's done. Now, the next one here is something that I don't know how I missed it day one. It's something that the first one was so fun. I had a great experience having that on 4K. I was really looking forward to the sequel, and it's just something that just passed me by. Then somebody had posted Amazon was having a sale. I had to grab it, and we're talking about I Still Know What You Did Last Summer. This is just a fun overall film from the 90s. Really enjoyed it, and like I said, I love the first one, so I love the second one. Great cast, beautiful picture. This one here adds Dolby Vision. It has a wonderful Atmos track, so everything about this was great. And the fact that I didn't have it in the collection at all, I think this is the way to go. You know what I have to say. This Big Ugly Banner, not a big fan. And now we're adding 3. We have the 4K, then we have the 4K digital. Now it's the 25th anniversary. All that stuff could have been done differently. I did appreciate, and I know other people would disagree, the Jaws 2 slipcover had the 45th anniversary sticker right on the slipcover. If they took that 25th anniversary and put it on a sticker here or even like down here somewhere, somehow it wouldn't have bothered me as much. It might have reminded me of like the old VHS tapes you'd find at rental stores that'd be covered with stickers of new rental, new release, and that right there, I don't know if it would have reminded me of that and I would have enjoyed it more, but you're getting different artwork on the slipcover that you are on the cover. So that is appreciative. I really do think that's great. When you open this up, you have artwork on both discs. Having a nice solid case that's not an echo case and I don't have to spend extra money on it, I'm going to be looking for more Columbia Pictures releases just because of that fact. Now this one is another one that gets hit all the time. James Cameron screwed it up, and it's the all that talk on the restoration. And I feel the exact same way I did about True Lies is about this movie. And we're talking about Aliens. This is just a great follow-up to the first one. Out of the entire franchise, the first 2 are my absolute favorites. Because it's coming out of Fox, you're getting the exact same treatment you are getting with True Lies. You're getting the similar slipcover with the minimalistic banner. That I really do love. I appreciate it. You're getting the exact same art from the slipcover to the actual disc itself. With this, you're also not getting an echo case. You're not getting a cheap, brittle, garbage case and something that I don't have to replace. Again, you know, I'm going to say the same stuff. I'm going to look for more Fox titles, and glad that they're not using the cheaper cases. Really enjoyable. You have that small minimalistic banner right there. Again, it kind of blends into the background, not jarring it in your face. And so I really do appreciate that a lot more. When you open this up, you're getting a little bit more of a design on the discs than you did with the True Lies set. But overall, just a great picture, great sound. You have Dolby Vision with this one, Dolby Atmos, just a wonderful experience. But I know that so many people have talked about how the restoration that James Cameron approves to polish it up, to get rid of all the grain, really is egregious. Now, the TV that I have, it does a little bit of upconverting. It has all kinds of DNR stuff built in. When a movie like this is put on, a lot of times with my 4Ks, I have it set to vivid, and I have that completely set where I need it to give me the best possible picture. But a movie like this that has some heavy DNR, I do switch it to a cinema mode, which is going to give me a little bit of a darker image, and so it's going to change it a little bit. You can keep the Dolby Vision on, and that'll give you a nice bright image, but it will adjust for some of those differences, or you can manually do it yourself, and that's kind of what I chose to do. And so movies like this that do have that DNR, I do switch different modes on my television. Overall, I think it's a great experience. Really enjoyed that one. Those are all of the recent Blu-rays and 4Ks that I've picked up and I have watched. Let me know in the comments down below if there's anything that you have picked up, stuff that you want to see, or if you want me to go into more detail about any of these movies. You're going to want to watch this video right here.